Hi there. So this video is going to be about autonomic dysregulation, which is the science or mechanism behind what we think is happening for people with persistent fatigue and other associated symptoms such as pain, changes in thinking, unrefreshing sleep, a feeling like maybe you're getting sick more often, and many, many more. You may have a diagnosis of long COVID or ME/CFS, chronic fatigue syndrome, persistent fatigue or post-viral fatigue. And for many of you, you would have gone to see a doctor and your tests would have come back normal. And that can make it really confusing to understand what's happening for you. So what the evidence suggests is that there is a dysregulation in the automatic systems in your body. And those are systems that function body-wide as well as at a cellular level. And those systems' job is to respond to the internal demands. So those are things like hunger, thirst, sleep, injury, illness that you experience internally, as well as the external demands. So the things you see, feel, hear, etc. Now, as much as possible, these systems want to stay in a state of balance or stability. But sometimes they get activated by a perceived threat or stressor. So that could be something like if you walked across the street and a car came out of nowhere, your systems are going to respond. If you fell and hurt your leg, your system would have a response to that. If you had a job interview, your system is going to respond like it's a perceived threat to get you ready for action. And there are associated body sensations with being more activated. So those are going to be changes in your breathing and heart rate, changes in your thinking. More blood is going to rush to your limbs to get you ready for action. Less activity is going to go towards things like your digestion, because those aren't essential when feeling activated. You also may experience sensations like fatigue or pain when you're in a more activated state. And the idea then is that your systems come back into a state of balance once the perceived threat is no longer there. And the reason that is so important is because being in that elevated state is really energy using. Now, sometimes what can happen due to a virus or a trauma or another prolonged stressor, the systems can then become dysregulated. They therefore are more sensitive to interpreting the internal demands as well as the environment and the activity as if it is a stressor or a threat. And also just in general, they're just a bit more activated than they would have been before. And what people sometimes say to me is it feels as if there's a bear about to jump out of the woods, or they're kind of always on the lookout for danger. And so the symptoms you're experiencing are the result of these systems being dysregulated, as well as the fallout of being in these really energy-using activated state. Now, the approach to helping you to manage this condition is to help you to re-regulate the systems through behavioral management. So it's about looking at your overall routine and figuring out ways to adjust it, to have it feel more manageable so that it's less likely that those alarm bells are going to go off. It's about building in lots of opportunities for things that you find restful, nourishing, and balancing. And that when those alarm bells go off, what are some things you can do to help bring you back to a state of balance? By spending more time in a stable state, the systems have more time to recover, restabilize, and this overall will help your well-being, and you'll be able to engage in more of the things that you care about.